the tape. Both fighters very similar. 39 years of age, no significant height or weight advantage. Two very evenly matched competitors. And they've both been fighting professionally since 2004, so they've been through it all, nearly 2 decades in this sport. And really more than that when you consider all the training and the amateur background and the years they put into the sport. You're probably talking about nearly 3 decades if you really think about it for both guys.
At least. These guys have been doing it for a long time.
Well, we're about ready to get underway with our CJJ co-main event. Let's send it back up to Patrick Sullivan.
Fight fans, this next bout is one 10-minute round of professional combat jiu-jitsu.
At the Mass Mutual Center, John Doomsday Howard, we'll just say in the pants, and Jay-Z in the shorts, to put it bluntly.
So creator Eddie Bravo actually commenting on John Doomsday's post that he made on Instagram. So gotta wonder if he's watching wherever he is.
It's such a different approach to the start
Totally
of the bout.
different. So
right?
both guys have a lot of experience for MMA, but I think that Jay-Z has a lot more experience with combat jiu-jitsu. He's had a couple matches of combat jiu-jitsu in the past, and he's been way more active recently doing pro grappling matches. Doomsday fights at a higher weight class. You know, Jay-Z was typically a 55er. Doomsday was, 70 and 85, and so it's interesting to kind of see how this is all going to play out.
9 submission wins for Jay-Z in his pro MMA career, and in a variety of fashions: guillotine, kimura, heel hook, Achilles lock, armbar. A guy who can do it all and beat you in a number of ways, and that's very pertinent to this kind of platform here with combat jiu-jitsu.
So right now, both guys are on their feet, so no one is allowed to strike. We can't palm strike at all. But as soon as one person hits the ground, okay, then it's fair game as far as.
What just happened here? So now it looks like there's a coin toss. Was there a minute of nothing? Is that what happened?
Yep. So now Jay-Z gets to choose the position. He's choosing top position.
Gotcha.
So now Jay-Z can punch a little bit better than Doomsday can.
So now what happens here, Joe, after a stalemate, the referee flips a coin.
Yes. Yep, and then Jay-Z won the coin toss, so he gets to choose if he wants to be top position or bottom position.
And there are those open palm strikes.
Yep. So now Doomsday has the double underhooks, the butterfly guard. So it's called butterfly guard because both of his shins are on the inside of Jay-Z's legs. He's trying to transition to some half guard. Ooh, Jay-Z's got the neck, and he's away.
Doomsday gets back to his feet. 8 minutes to go in the bout. Again, one 10-minute round. No break in between, unless we go to overtime.
Yep.
If we get to
overtime, I'll explain that as we get close to it.
Let's just say we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. Correct.
We're gonna not worry about it for now. Little headbutt there.
Little exchange there, sure.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, this has got to be so hard to try and get a takedown, especially on 2 black belts. Like the process, the brain is just constantly moving of what to do next.
Both guys got to be very careful you don't get caught in a guillotine. You know the guy needs to work for takedown because they're going to flip a coin again here. I think, pretty quick. Maybe back to another minute on the feet, and they're going to flip a coin, and, Doomsday's going to hopefully win the coin toss, and then he'll start on top, and he'll get his shot on Jay-Z.
Brian Miner with the close eye in the action.
Quick movement right there.
He's trying to hit an arm spin there. Didn't quite do it.
It's incredible how quickly he can move.
So I fought Jay-Z twice as an amateur, and I've trained with Doomsday a lot. And Doomsday just seems like a much bigger person. They're both pretty, comparable right now, but.
Oh,
flying armbar. That was actually very close.
Wow, what a scramble.
Great scramble by Doomsday. I think he took one to the eye there on the toe, probably in the eye on the way up.
Probably a toe in the eye.
Incidental, of course.
Don't like it when guys lock their fingers up like that.
It just seems dangerous.
Gives me anxiety.
It seems so dangerous.
Do not like.
Explain to me Doomsday's open hand, the cupping of the hands as he's moving in.
So if you want to keep your elbows tucked in nice and tight, right? So you're constantly trying to hand fight it. If I have your hands and you can't really surprise me with anything, I feel no matter where you're gonna try and move your hands. So hand fighting is so important. It's one of those things that's kind of overlooked a lot of times when you're watching fights because you notice the big punches, but you miss the smaller things. You miss the hand fighting stuff. You miss the footwork stuff sometimes.
No, I think you're right, and
more
it's a
subtle.
different. It's just a different look for Doomsday. We're so used to seeing him in an MMA fight,
Yep.
and he comes out from the opening bell, and he's an animal. And,
Yep.
and we've seen him knock guys cold and
Yep.
just laying on people. So much different, or a relaxed but tactical approach here.
Yep.
And, you know, an opportunity for him to show off his ground game and his ability. You saw him escape that armbar attempt. He
Yep.
did a nice job there. So it's kind of a level of Doomsday we don't often get to see.
And Doomsday has very good takedowns on top of all, you know, the striking he has. But usually his takedowns are set up with his striking. So now you've taken
Correct.
away that component, that layer of the setups. It's just, it slows it down a little bit. It makes it a little different. We've seen Jay-Z be a little bit more active for the takedowns.
I was just going to say he's a little busier, but I think it's important to note that points don't really matter in this situation. It's all about the finish.
The points don't matter. However, if it does get to overtime at the end of this, right, then, you know, whoever, if it's been dead even, then they'll flip a coin again to kind of decide who gets to, you know, kind of choose where things are going to start. But, you know, if one fighter has been more active and been more aggressive, which Jay-Z has been more active and more aggressive, he will automatically win. He'll automatically get the choice.
5 minutes down in this 10-minute CJJ match.
Now, Joe, I'd ask you about, I want to go back to what you said about Doomsday having used strikes in the past to set up his takedowns as we get another attempt here.
Yep.
All right, we might see a little more action now that we're on the ground here.
And the question I have is a more calculated approach with takedowns for Doomsday, more of a thinking man's game in a sense.
So, I mean, when you get a guy that's like a good wrestler, he has like, you know, it's like maybe his double leg is good, his single leg is good, but really it's all about his setups, right? It's all about the setups. So a lot of MMA fighters, they might have very, very good wrestling for MMA just because their setups are very good because they're set up by punches and things like that. Then you have guys that have like straight up great straight wrestling, and it's different because they have a lot more elaborate setups and things like that. So for someone like Doomsday, like most of his setups for all this time have primarily been his striking. You know, you punch high, you punch high, you punch high. Person's hands come up, you shoot your double leg, you shoot your takedown, you shoot your single, whatever it's going to be.
You're seeing the only allowable form of striking here, the open hand strikes.
Yep.
And that is only allowed when both fighters are down.
Yes, correct. I think if one
At
fighter
least
has
one
to be down,
fighter.
one fighter has to
Okay.
be down, then
At
you
least
can
one,
strike.
yep.
Once one fighter's down, then you can strike. But it's pretty hard to win by a TKO in this. Like, you know, right now Jay-Z's in side control. You're probably not going to win with a TKO from side control. You know, if he gets to mount or something like that, then, you know, then it's a little bit better. A lot of times the strikes play into it a little bit more. Like when they're like, you have someone in a triangle and they're defending you, slap them quite a bit.
Now, we have 3.5 to go in this fight. Could possibly be going toward an overtime, and it looks like Jay-Z's been the aggressor and would, in my opinion, get the opportunity to call the toss.
I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree with that. Yep. You know,
And Maddie mentioned it earlier. He's just been more aggressive with the takedown attempts.
Yep. He went with that flying arm lock. You know, so it has not been dead even.
Nice little slap to the side of the temple.
Yep. So Jay-Z's probably not going to mount here. I mean, like, it's nice, but he doesn't want to get rolled. So if he can stay in side control, he's going to he'll try and use his left arm to maybe try and press down on John's right arm to try and like lock his arm in place and try and hit him a little bit. Maybe try and set up a submission. He's really locking on his left arm underneath John's neck. And if John's not careful, he's got to worry about some north-south chokes and things like that. We see Jay-Z take his right arm and scoop to the near hip. Yep, there we go. You know, he's going to start trying to set up like a north-south choke or very likely like an anaconda choke. He's going to try and use his hips to push John's elbow over his face and try to choke him.
What I like about this is just the opportunity to discuss the strategy at a more intense level than we're used to.
It's a little slower, right?
Sure.
It's kind of hard
Showing all the
sometimes.
nuances of MMA.
Yep.
2 minutes to go. 8 minutes in the books in this combat jiu-jitsu bout, live on UFC Fight Pass. We are here from the Mass Mutual Center for CES 70. Michael Parenti, Joe Lozon, and Maddie Levine.
This has been one of those matches where, like, okay, it kind of depends on like what you're expecting. The MMA fans like, oh, they're not hitting each other that much. Grapple's like, oh, did you see him smash him in the face? How about your perspective a little bit?
It really is a collision of worlds when you think about it. We saw some slaps, a little back and forth exchange.
Overtime rounds are actually, I think, a little bit more exciting than the actual standard, you know.
We may get there, so Joe, you better be on your toes. You're going to have to explain the rules to our loyal viewers who we now know are across the globe tonight.
Yeah.
So Eddie Bravo always likes to talk about it's almost like extra innings in baseball, right? If you score in the top of the inning, you don't win, right? But if you shut out the team in the top of the inning and then the bottom of the inning, you score a run, game's over, right?
Yes.
It's game. So it's kind of similar for jiu-jitsu wise here. You know, if John starts, you know, on the attacking position, he does not submit Jay-Z, but then Jay-Z submits him, then it's over, Jay-Z wins. If they both submit each other in the first round, then you go by who did it faster for the overtime round. I think it's a 2-minute overtime round. And they'll do up to 3 overtime rounds.
And after that?
After that, if you get all 3, and you get through, you know, so you basically go top and bottom, so 6 times of all 3 rounds. Then it goes to who had the fastest combined escape time.
Heavy slaps.
Because you have up to
Jay-Z.
2 minutes, but when you escape a position, it's basically okay. I'm no longer in danger. They call it live. So like you'll start on either on someone's back going for a rear naked choke, or you'll start what they call spider web, which is going for an arm lock. And when you escape the imminent threat of the submission or the imminent control, then that round ends. And they clock it. They clock your escape time. So if it takes you 20 seconds to get out, well, that's better than someone that took 45 minutes, or 45 seconds or a minute to get out. Probably gonna see an arm lock here. Nope.
Oh my goodness! Imagine.
Final 10 seconds.
Wow.
The bell
Okay.
rings, and we're going to go to overtime in the first combat jiu-jitsu bout.
So I suspect that they're going to give Jay-Z a choice on where he wants to start, offense or defense.
So looking at the rules here, there are no palm strikes in overtime.
Now
It's all about who can submit who faster.
So Jay-Z's going to start on the back. He has to get an over-under. It's called seatbelt. He's got to keep his hands down low. The ref's going to put his knee in Jay-Z's back, and he's basically going to back away, and it's going to go. So over-under. He can't be super close to a choke. When John escapes, you get kind of complicated. He's got the body triangle, so it's going to be kind of hard for him to get away now. So Jay-Z is kind of looking for, okay, I'm going to try and hang on him for 2 minutes and not let him get away.
We are in the first 2-minute overtime in this CJJ bout.
So John is trying to use his right leg to try to pin Jay-Z's ankle, and he can then take his left arm and push out on Jay-Z's knee and kind of create some tension on the ankle and knee.
And again, remember, no strikes allowed at all in overtime. There's no
Nope,
softening up
grappling.
defensively. It's
Straight
all grappling. You really see the strategy at play here in this kind of format.
So Doomsday's trying to get his back to the ground. If Jay-Z gets mount, that's considered an escape, unless he's like working for like an arm triangle or some other like very near submission. When in doubt, the referee is supposed to always err on the attacker side, right? So if it's kind of close, Doomsday's kind of out, but not really, well, it keeps on going until he's very clearly, escaped. But there's another 45 seconds in this half of the round, top of the round, first overtime period. So I suspect that Jay-Z's strategy is going to be to basically just make Doomsday go all 3 and 3 all 6 minutes, and he's going to try to get away from Doomsday just a little bit, get a slight advantage here. And if that happens and there's no submission after the 6 rounds, on time. Doomsday is going to try to do the same thing. 10 seconds left. Okay, so now we're gonna switch top and bottom. So now,
all right, so double overtime. Here we go.
So now Doomsday is gonna get to choose where he wants to be, whether he wants to start on the back or he wants to start in the arm lock.
So it looks like he's going for the same spot Jay-Z went for.
Yep. He's not allowed to start with the body triangle. He has to start with the over-under with the regular hooks, but he'll probably try to quickly change to the body triangle.
Now, in this position, if Doomsday gets a submission, fight's over.
Yes, but if Jay-Z gets away right away, then it'll go to the next overtime round. Jay-Z's kind of worked his way out. He's probably going to get out of here, I would suspect. And that is going to be an escape as soon as he gets his arm free. He's in a triangle. He's got to get out of this.
And there it is.
Okay, so right now, Jay-Z just got 2 minutes. It took John 2 minutes to escape, and Jay-Z was much faster. I don't know what the time was, maybe 20 seconds or so.
15 seconds maybe at best.
So if Jay-Z now, he doesn't need to submit John, he just needs to
Hold
do
on
that
for
again.
longer,
To do that again, 2 more rounds of it.
2 more rounds.
Yep. But he's got a big jump start now because
well, this is the third overtime round.
No, this is the yes, but there's 6. This is the top of the second.
Top of the consider the top of the 11th inning, if you will.
Yes.
As we are in extra innings, so to speak.
I see.
So Jay-Z once again has the body triangle, and he's probably going to just try to ride the clock. He wants to maintain this position as long as he can. If he can make it the full 2 minutes, that's ideal for him.
Huge advantage.
But even if he can't make it the 2 minutes, it's already past the 15 seconds. He's gaining on John.
Yes.
At some point, it's going to come to a point where John's not going to have enough time to be able to try and win back. He's going to have to submit Jay-Z.
In a second.
Yep.
You're right. It's going to be physically impossible as Jay-Z holds on.
So this is the top of the second overtime round, but we're going to have a bottom of the second, then top of the third, bottom of the third. So there's still a little bit of time to go on, but Jay-Z's currently like winning.
He's already 45 seconds into this half of the round.
Yep.
Like you said, just piling up the time on Doomsday.
Yep. And again, he doesn't need to submit him. He just needs to accumulate more time, riding time, and fuel.
Rolling the dice and going for a submission could allow Doomsday to escape, potentially. So there's that strategy that you think about in the back of your mind.
It's those things where, like, sometimes, like, they try to come up with a rule set that's going to force people to attack, and then people kind of game it, and they force it to go super. He's going for an arm lock here.
Now Doomsday escapes. So 1:15 into that round.
1:15. So now, so far, Jay-Z has 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But now Doomsday is going to start on Jay-Z's back, and he's got to, Now, if Doomsday gets a submission here, it's over. Doomsday wins.
If Jay-Z gets out quickly like he did in that last round, he's going to have that advantage back that he may have lost a little bit in the top half of the round.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Clock is ticking.
Doomsday's corner's calling for the body triangle, but it's just too late. He's got top mount, but it's not. It's out. It's over. So now that was the bottom of the second overtime round. Now we're going to go to the top of the third overtime round.
That one was 13 seconds for Jay-Z to escape that submission. So he is just piling up the time here.
Yep.
Really in complete control now as we go. This is the last half or last 2 halves of overtime.
Yep. So Jay-Z's ahead. So now he can go 2 ways. He can he can try to just continue to try and pile on the time, or he's probably going to try to he's going to be a little more aggressive here. He's going to go for the arm lock. So he can take his arm. He can choose either left arm or right arm. He can shoot the arm through. He has to put his opposite arm on the ground. Has to be on the ground. They're going to say go, and Jay-Z's going to try to quickly attack the arm. Now, as long as Jay-Z has John in like imminent threat, whether it's the arm lock or a triangle, an arm triangle, or he can take the back and it will continue, or he's got him an arm lock here.
And there it is. Clock ticking.
I think the ref should have let that go a little bit longer, but it's okay.
So it goes down as an escape for Doomsday, 7 seconds.
Yep.
So now Doomsday going for the same attempt here.
So now
I think.
This is the final segment of overtime.
Why did that? I don't understand why that just happened. Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So now Doomsday needs a really quick submission
this is the
here.
bottom of the third.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll see if Doomsday can get what he's looking for, or will Jay-Z escape and win this on time?
Yep.
And it looks like as we get
Jay-Z
5
has
seconds
a lot
into
of
this,
time. He has a lot of time to escape here, so he'll probably try to escape pretty quick here. But he does have a lot of time to kind of take his time.
It's tough to know exactly how much.
Yep.
But like you said, it's a lot.
If the tables return, though, John would have to escape much quicker. You got to kind of you can't be as patient as you would like to be.
30 seconds into it, and he gets out.
He's free.
And so Jay-Z's going to get the victory.
All right.
In overtime.
Yep.
And basically, Joe did it by faster escapes.
Faster escapes, yep.
And holding Doomsday down a little bit longer, particularly in that first half.
The first round.
First round of overtime.
He got 2 minutes. He got the full time in the first round, the first overtime.
All right, so very interesting in our CJJ debut here at CES 70. We're going to send it in the ring now to Pat Sullivan, who's going to give us the official, the particulars rather, in this combat jiu-jitsu bout.
I mean, technically, we weren't adding it up, but.
And your winner of this professional combat jiu-jitsu match with the fastest to escape, J.C. Cavalcante.
people think I'm putting myself for the amateur of a grappling channel. I fought a lot of MMA, top one of the division, and now I'm doing the transition, also competing to motivate my fighters. So that's a good start for me.
I'm sure they were motivated after seeing that performance. When can we see you back in the CES cage?
I have a fight tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's hear it for your winner, JZ.
So Jay-Z gets the win over Doomsday Howard in our first ever CJJ bout at CES 70. And once again, you are watching live on UFC Fight Pass, and it's main event time. Featherweight gold is on the line. For one fighter, it's a second chance at the title. For the other, it's the first time going